I used to think the scariest sound in the world was the ring of a phone at 3 a.m. Turns out, it's the silence that follows a casual "I'll be back soon" when you know in your gut that something just isn't right. Erin and I met in college. I was the guy in the back of the room taking notes by hand, and she was the girl up front, bright and laughing, always the first to answer. She had this soft intensity about her, driven but never cold. We fell into a rhythm almost too easily. Graduated, got married, bought a modest house in the suburbs. I got into logistics for a warehouse company. Erin became a dental hygienist. Safe, secure, simple. The thing is, nothing ever felt wrong. That's the part that messes with your head the most. No big fights. No long silences. We still watched shows together. Still had our Sunday morning routines. Still made love, though it had slowed down a bit. Life, stress, work, you tell yourself all the usual excuses. But we were fine. That's what I told myself. We were fine. It started with small changes, the kind you only notice in hindsight. She started doing the grocery runs alone. That used to be our thing. Split a muffin at the deli counter, debate cereal brands in aisle 5. One Saturday morning, she kissed me on the cheek and said, "You sleep in. I'll grab the groceries." Harmless, right? But it became a habit. Then a pattern. Then something I stopped asking about altogether. The receipts stopped showing up in the junk drawer. She started wearing makeup on these little trips. One day, I asked if she wanted me to come along. She laughed, too quickly, and said, "You'd hate it. It's always packed and chaotic." Still, I didn't press. Maybe I didn't want to know. 3 weeks ago, she came back later than usual. Said she ran into a friend and grabbed coffee after. There was a tiny smudge on her neck, half concealed by her scarf. Lipstick? A birthmark I'd never noticed in 8 years of marriage? I didn't ask. Again. But then came the dream. I know sounds strange. But I had this vivid nightmare where she was kissing someone else. Some faceless guy in a green apron, in a fluorescent-lit store. I woke up in a sweat, the image burned into my brain. My heart knew what my head refused to. So the next Saturday, I followed her. I waited 10 minutes after she left, got in my car, and trailed her down to the Silver Grove Market. I parked 2 rows back and watched. She wasn't inside long. Just long enough to pass through the produce section and disappear into the back aisle. And then he showed up. Mid-20s, scruffy beard, tan arms under rolled-up sleeves, and a name tag that read, Travis. He looked like a B-list actor from some CW show. I watched as he brushed against her arm near the egg display. I saw her smile, that smile. The one she used to save for me. She handed him her list, leaned close as they spoke. Too close. Then, she followed him through the staff-only door. I waited. 15 minutes. Then 20. When she reappeared, her hair was slightly tousled, her cheeks flushed. No bags in hand. When she finally came home, she told me the line at the register was long. She made a big show of laying out the groceries. I just nodded. My stomach twisted at every innocent item she pulled out of the bags. Milk, eggs, apples. I couldn't tell what felt more surreal, that she was cheating on me in a grocery store, or that I could still recognize every brand she picked. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I didn't sleep that night either. I lay there beside her, listening to the even sound of her breathing, wondering what part of her mind he occupied. Was it just sex? Was it a fantasy? Did she laugh at my grocery lists with him? The next Saturday, she went again. And this time, I followed her inside. The grocery store felt colder than I remembered. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as I stepped past the sliding doors, gripping the cart like a lifeline, pretending I belonged. I didn't know what I expected to see, but I was sure I'd know it when I did. It was early afternoon, but the place was quiet. I weaved my way past the bakery, down the familiar aisles Erin and I used to walk together. Nostalgia stabbed at me with every step. Our first Thanksgiving, laughing over which turkey to buy. Now all I could think about was what aisle she'd chosen to betray me in. And then I saw them. Tucked in a corner near the stockroom entrance, hidden behind a tower of discounted detergent, she was standing with him, Travis. The apron, the charm, the hands that gestured a little too comfortably. Her laugh was soft, but unmistakable. His hand touched her waist. Light. Casual. Like it was routine. She didn't see me right away. I moved closer, slow and deliberate, heart pounding. I wanted to scream, to shove every can off the shelf and watch it all crash down around her. But I didn't. I just watched. Long enough to see her lean in for a kiss. Not a desperate, stolen thing. No. It was practiced. Familiar. That broke me more than the kiss itself. I turned and left. My fingers were numb around the cart handle. I didn't know how long I sat in my car, staring at the dashboard like it held answers. When Erin walked out 20 minutes later with 2 brown bags in hand, she looked normal. Like any wife coming home from a chore. That night, I didn't sleep. The next morning, over coffee, I asked, "Do you love him?" Her spoon clinked against the cup, her body stiffening. "What?" I met her eyes. "Travis. The grocery clerk. Do you love him?" She went pale. Then flushed. Then quiet. "I don't know," she whispered. I nodded. The kind of nod that feels like signing your own surrender papers. "How long?" She hesitated. "A couple of months. It wasn't supposed to be." She stopped herself. "It started as a distraction. You've been distant. Tired. We barely talk." I wanted to scream. "Because you stopped trying. Because you pulled away." But the words stayed inside. "So you cheated on me in a grocery store." Her lip trembled. "I didn't mean to fall into this. It just felt good to be wanted again." I stood up, not trusting myself to sit across from her any longer. "I would have done anything to fix things, Erin. You didn't even give me the chance." She followed me into the hallway. "I was afraid of what it meant, of what I was becoming. You became someone who lies, who cheats. That's who you are now," she cried. Real, gut-wrenching sobs. But I felt nothing. I packed a bag that afternoon and stayed with my brother for a while. We talked once more 2 weeks later, in a neutral diner where nothing felt personal. She asked if I was going to file for divorce. I told her yes. "I don't want to fight you on anything," she said. "I'm not fighting either," I replied. "Just letting go." I never saw Travis again, though sometimes I wondered if he still flirted with married women over peaches and plastic bags. I tried not to care. A year passed. I moved into a new place with more light and fewer memories. I started therapy. Took up running. On Sunday mornings, I'd make pancakes just for me. Grocery runs became solitary but peaceful. No betrayals behind stockrooms. Just me and a list I actually cared to complete. Sometimes, when I walk by the bakery aisle, I still hear her laugh. I don't hate her anymore. But I also don't miss her. Turns out, healing doesn't look like revenge. It looks like silence where pain used to live. Like choosing yourself after being chosen last. Like standing in the checkout line with nothing left to prove, and still feeling whole.